So lately, as I'm sure you guys have all seen, there has been an uptick in like self-development content, self-help content, how to glow up content. And I think it's great. I think it's amazing. I think that's very similar to the majority of content I've been making and want to continue to make. But I will say, you cannot just keep watching a bunch of self-help videos and equate that to actually doing the work. The work to self-love is such a lifelong journey. It truly gets dark sometimes. To love yourself is to face yourself. And facing yourself means being fucking honest about your bullshit. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. But I just wanted to say that with all of this self-help content that we've been seeing on our algorithms everywhere, they talk a lot about glowing up and becoming your higher self. And I just wanted to say, you cannot glow up or become your highest self if you're starting from a place of self-hate. If you're starting from hating yourself, you are not going to see any kind of sustainable results. Social media will try to make it seem like self-love could be bought with a product, but no. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to actually love yourself in today's world. I'm going to give you guys some tangible things you could do right now, starting today, to work towards having a better relationship with yourself and ultimately how to really, honestly love yourself. You do not need to wait until you've lost a bunch of weight, made a bunch of money, got the dream job, got the perfect boyfriend to feel like you are worthy of self-love and loving yourself. What if I told you that right now, in the exact body that you are in the exact stage of life that you're in, even if you're unhappy and you don't like where you're at in life right now, you are still worthy of self-love and you deserve to love yourself, okay? The best way to go about your process is to love yourself throughout the journey. Be okay with where you're starting from. You might not like where you are, but you need to be okay with it and still love yourself regardless. If you come from a place of self-love, I promise you the results will be much more sustainable than if you hate yourself. And also, if you hate yourself, you will hate the journey as well, okay? And we don't want that. And let's be real, in today's society, it can feel really damn hard to truly love yourself just the way you are. There's a lot of shit that makes it hard. Social media, constant comparison, consumerism, all of this pressure of today can make it really hard to feel like you are just enough. But I promise you, you are. You so are enough just the way you are. And that doesn't mean that you're like, okay, I'm enough. I'm going to stop doing any work to improve. No, we want to be always improving. The difference is when you love yourself throughout the entire process. And not just when you start to see some results. You love yourself even when you're a novice and don't have much shit going on, don't have much shit figured out. You love yourself just the same as if when you have all the results. And you're never going to have all the results. Life is a big yo-yo. There's going to be seasons of fruition, seasons of struggle, and that's life. It's not just some constant up to some finish line. The finish line will be constantly moving. Sorry for the weird hand movements. You get what I'm saying. Society has brainwashed many of us and conditioned us to believe and attach our self-worth to external validation and social proof of success, such as money, status, jobs, etc. You could have achieved all the success in the world, have all the validation from anyone who's ever met you. But if you still don't really love yourself from the inside, you will feel nothing and they will all mean nothing to you. It will be meaningless. Like, it doesn't even matter. Self-love is truly at its core. If you strip away all of those external validators and you take it away overnight and you wake up and everything is gone, all the money is gone, all the fame is gone. Self-love is still loving yourself and still being okay with yourself because you were never depending on those things to be the reason why you love yourself in the first place. Yeah, they were great assets and they added to your life, but they weren't the reason why you loved yourself. Self-love is separating who you are on the inside versus your external things that just add to your image. You need to learn to love being alone. And it's not just learning to be alone, which could be the first step, but you need to genuinely love being alone. When you genuinely become your own best friend and you have a great time just hanging out with yourself, you'll quickly realize you don't need to be around random people to fill the void or make you feel entertained when you're bored. In this life, at the end of the day, the only constant variable is that you only have yourself. That is the only constant variable that we know, is that we are stuck with ourselves whether we like it or not. This makes a lot of people very, very uncomfortable because we have been conditioned to believe that we need either a romantic partner or a big group of friends or a huge family to feel happy. Although those are wonderful things to have, I think it's beautiful to have a lot of friends, to have a trusting partner. But at the end of the day, as uncomfortable as it might be to admit to yourself, people are fleeting. As much as you could hope and pray that things work out between you and someone, you truly don't ever know. And that's why you cannot attach your full happiness to a person, because you don't even know if they'll be with you forever, for real. We can't put that much pressure on one person to be the sole reason for your happiness. They are their own person too. You need to learn how to enjoy time by yourself. Literally spend time with yourself. Even if it's just for 20 minutes a day, spend true time with yourself and do it without any distractions. And what I mean by this is, don't go on your phone, don't be watching TV. Literally just spend at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day just hanging out with yourself. Like, kick it, go get a coffee, go sit and friggin' look at the trees. I don't know. Go do something. Like, get to know yourself for real. How can you have fun with yourself if you don't even get to know yourself? Treat getting to know yourself as if you were like dating someone else. Like, you're trying to get to know the person. What do they like? What do they have fun doing? What are they interested in? When you become fully comfortable being alone, you become less dependent on external validation. You become more self-sufficient, which is going to make you radiate such on a higher vibration of just like authenticity and confidence. I feel like a lot of people just are very uncomfortable with the thought of being lonely, and they would rather be around people just so they're not lonely. And to that I say, why would you want to be around people who A, you don't even like, or B, mistreat you? Because I know some people will literally hang out with people who are mean to them, make them feel uninspired, bad about themselves, but they stay just so they're not alone. And it's like, if only you knew how much better off you would be being by yourself than with these toxic people. Toxic people will literally drain you of your energy. They will literally make you ugly, and they will literally kill you. Like, not actually, but they will spiritually kill you. Like, energy vampires are exactly that. They will drain you of your life. So I would say to that, if you're around people who make you feel like shit about yourself, do yourself a favor and leave that situation. I promise you, being lonely and being alone for a while is gonna be better than staying with those kinds of people. To love yourself is to know yourself. And you need to really get to know yourself. Like, you need to get into the nitty-gritty. Obviously, a good place to start is like solo dates. Ask yourself the basics, get to know the basics. What do I like? What do I not like? What motivates me? What am I scared of? What makes me anxious? Those are like the basics, right? I will say, if you really, really want to go deeper into your self-love journey, shadow work. Okay, I feel like a lot of people hear shadow work and they get scared. And I get it. Shadow work is really, really dark. I think social media has kind of painted shadow work to be this kind of like quick, easy thing. You just answer a couple questions and it's like, okay, I've done my shadow work. Now I know myself fully. No. Shadow work is a very dark, difficult process. You are literally facing your shadow self. You are getting to know your dark side, your deepest desires, your deepest secrets, the things you're not proud of, the things you're ashamed to admit. We all have a shadow side. It's no shame in it. It is uncomfortable though to be that honest with yourself about things that aren't maybe socially acceptable or desirable about yourself. Yeah, you need to know those things too. And that is also going to be a lifelong process. It's not just something that you do overnight and then all of a sudden you're a shadow or God. No, like it is a lifelong journey. But you could start today. You could start whenever you want. If you really want to get to know your shadow, you could do that, but you have to really go into the depth of your mind and ask yourself those really, really uncomfortable questions, those really tough questions, and it's gonna be hard. You might break down, you might get really emotional and question everything around you. It's part of the game, but this is something that I would recommend doing at your own pace. If you're just kind of getting into this journey, take your time with it for sure. Another way to get to know yourself is to just journal and ask yourself like basic questions like what excites me, what drains me. And I feel like getting into the habit of journaling every single day for me has been a lifesaver. Oh my gosh. So I'm a writer. If you guys didn't know, writing has like genuinely saved my life. I will do weekly audits. I try to journal every single day, but obviously, you know, there's days where I don't, but I always try to do weekly audits. And I just do like a check-in with myself, like how I'm feeling, what has been going on, where have I been lacking, what have I been doing good in. And I just kind of like let it all out. And I just kind of can see the progress with time. That's what I love about journaling. Like sometimes I'll read my old entries from even like years ago and I will just literally see the growth on paper. And it's so motivating to keep going because you can literally see like, wow, this specific thing I wrote about, I conquered that fear, or I did this, I tried that, or I figured this out. This person is not in my life anymore. Like there's been so many things I've been able to see in real time. It's very amazing. I would definitely recommend journaling to you guys. It's really easy to love yourself when everything is going easy and there's nothing really going on that's tricky and everything's smooth sailing. The real test though, how do you treat yourself in times of struggle? When things are hitting the fan, when shit is not going as planned, when things are a mess, when you hit rock bottom, how are you treating yourself? That is probably the most important thing I want you guys to take away from this video. When you are going through times of struggle, you need to have compassion for yourself. You need to practice self-compassion, self-kindness. Think about it this way. Your best friend, your mom, your sister, your dad, your brother, your boyfriend, whoever, when they mess up and make a mistake and they experience doubt, fear, anxiety, are you going to sit there and yell at them and tell them, you're so terrible, I can't believe you did this? Like, are you going to hit them with that level of apathy, or are you going to sit there with them and try to motivate them, be kind with them, let them know that they can try again, that they tried their best? Why can't you treat yourself that way too when you mess up? When you make a mistake and you are in times of tribulation, you need to treat yourself as the way you would treat your best friend. Understand that your struggles and the fact that you failed at something, it doesn't mean you're a loser, and it most definitely does not define your self-worth. Life is all about having ebbs and flows, and you're gonna have flop eras, and that's okay. It's all part of the journey. And it's actually a good indicator that you are someone who is living their life and taking risks, because if you don't fail at something, it means you're not trying new shit. So I think failure should be celebrated more often. And once you kind of shift your brain into thinking like that, you will see failure in a whole different way. Failure is actually something really amazing. When you are having an off day or an off era, give yourself time and the permission to let yourself rest and have a day to yourself, and don't beat yourself up for having and needing rest days. Self-love means showing up for yourself and being kind to yourself, even when you feel like you don't deserve it. And it sucks that we feel this way sometimes because of society and everything we've been brainwashed to believe. But You need to start changing the way you see all that and show up for yourself even when it's hard. You need to cultivate a very strong sense of self-respect. If you don't have self-respect, you have nothing. And what does self-respect look like? I'll tell you right now. Having self-respect means that you don't compromise your set beliefs and core values for anyone else, no matter what the situation. You stay firm in what is important to you. This means setting boundaries with people who drain you or disrespect you. This means putting people in their place for talking to you crazy. This means your self-talk. How do you speak to yourself? You wouldn't speak to your best friend crazy, right? And disrespect her like that, calling her all these names, saying she's a mess. Nah, she would probably cuss you out. So don't do that shit to yourself either. When you respect yourself, people pay attention to that. You are showing people how they can treat you. People will treat you the way you treat yourself ultimately. And if you lack self-respect and you're out here constantly disrespecting yourself, talking a mess on yourself, people are going to think, oh, okay, that means I can talk to her the same way. No. You need to cut that shit out and start having some self-respect. In today's day and age, comparison is one of the fastest ways to kill your self-love. Comparison is ultimately so useless. You are in your body, you are in your life, you are stuck in it no matter what you do, no matter how much you complain about it and you cry about it and you scroll and wish your life was different. Nothing is gonna change. All the energy you put into complaining and hating your life and comparing yourself to other people, that is energy lost that you could have been putting into yourself to improve your life so that you get to a point where you don't even feel the need to compare yourself because you're so locked in on yourself and your mission and your values and your goals that you don't even care about what no one else is doing. And if you do see what someone else is doing, you're happy for them. You're happy for them because you're good with yourself. So it's not a competition. You're not seeing things as a competition. And honestly, I feel like you need to create a digital haven for yourself. If you know that certain apps trigger you to make you want to scroll and compare yourself, you need to change that. It is ultimately your responsibility to create a digital atmosphere that works for you. If this means you need to follow certain accounts and influencers or celebrities that make you feel insecure, do that. Unfollow them. I love the block button. The block button is the best thing that ever existed. And I think with that too, you should also learn to limit your screen time and just focus on your own journey instead of comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. For real. Like, you need to start protecting your digital space the way you would protect your physical and mental space. In today's day and age, they're all intertwined at this point. Do things that nourish your inner child. The key to self-love is nourishing the version of yourself that was younger and didn't have all their needs met or catered to. You need to cater to little you who didn't always feel safe or cared for or loved. What does she need? Everything you do, try to do it for her. Be the person that small you needed. This means speaking kindly to yourself, doing things that, your younger self loved, whether it was playing dress up. Maybe you can express that in how you go out into the world and your fashion choices. Validate your emotions. Don't gaslight yourself. Your feelings are valid. Give yourself permission to have fun. Literally just have fun with yourself. Humans need to play. You know how kids have recess? Adults need recess too. We should be making time for recess for adults, for real. And just doing shit that connects us with our inner child. Everything you were really passionate about as a kid that you loved, we should be going back to that as adults. We really should. And I truly think adulthood is honestly just going back to who you were as a kid. I think the journey to adulthood, a lot of the time, it's when you grow up, you kind of lose sight of who you were as a kid, what you love to do, because maybe you were called weird for it, or you were made to feel inadequate or strange or odd or not good enough. So you lost that passion you had for something in specific. I think Adulthood is just finding your way back to that finding your way back to that passion that you once had. And nourishing your inner child, it kind of goes hand in hand with just do things that make you feel good. Do things that make you feel good mentally, spiritually, and physically. Taking care of this physical vessel is a very high form of self-love. If you neglect how your body looks and feels, that is going to show in the outside world. People are going to know she doesn't take care of herself. She doesn't care about herself. Do things for your body because your body deserves to be nourished. Your body deserves to feel good. You deserve to go out and feel beautiful. If that means waking up every day and getting dressed up for the day, putting on a little bit of mascara, a little bit of lipstick, putting on your favorite outfit, and who cares if people call you extra, girl? Be extra. It's better to be extra than be nothing, okay? That's my motto. I also will say, you know, keep up with your daily movement, your hygiene, take your showers, go for walks. Hey guys, my phone died, but I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who watched my video. I hope these self-love tips can really help you in some capacity. I know that it's really hard out there these days, but I know you guys can do it, and I'm sure with these tips, you'll be a pro. I love you guys. See you guys in the next one.